Hi, hi friends. This is Vicky Della Gioio coming to you, thinking still about stories, what makes stories work. You know, I told a lot of stories about what was happening with my mom as she was dying a month ago. What I found during the course of telling those stories is that people really resonated with that more than anything. So people would respond by telling me their stories. We began a whole dialogue around the dying process, which was so very precious to me. So I'm here today because I wanted to tell you a little bit of a story that happened with my mom that I didn't speak on in that series. And by the way, a few people have asked if they could look at that series. I do have it on my YouTube channel, so if you're interested, just let me know in the comments below. When she was dying, it took her a fairly long time, and the nurses in the hospital were all like, "Oh my gosh, she's so strong. It's taking her so long." She went without food for a little over 3 weeks. She was ready mentally and emotionally. She wanted to go, but her body was fighting it. One day, one of my mentor coaches said to me that she had sort of a inspiration that I should help my mom take a golden cord out from her body and plug it back into source. Well, I was sitting with her. So here I am, I'm sitting next to her bedside. I'm listening deeply to her breathe. I'm just watching her continuing to go, feeling a tremendous amount of love and appreciation for all that she taught me, especially in those last weeks. I decided to go into meditation. As I'm there, I picture this golden cord that my friend had mentioned to me. I imagine that I can see my mom pulling on that cord, trying to pull it out of her body to return it to source. She looks up at me totally frustrated. "Vicky, I can't get this to pull. I need help. You need to help me pull it out." I say to her, I can't do that, Mom, but when I look at it closely, I see that there's little tendrils at the bottom of the cord, and they're all plugged into different cells in her body, and they're plugged into different memories. So each cord has a different memory that it's attached to. I recommend to her, why don't you try pulling out all these little threads from this shell, this body that you're in right now, and then you'll be able to pull the whole cord out. Well, she did die within 24 hours after that, so I have no idea. I mean, eventually she would have gone no matter what, but I did have a sense that that eased a piece of the process. Now imagine that I tell you that story. It was that story, but if I just were to describe it. So this is a technique that I know from improv work that I do, as well as from other theater training, which is called show, not tell. Now, I didn't do anything very dramatic, right? I gave you a few gestures, just natural way of my speaking. But what if I just said, "Oh, my mom was having a hard time dying, and so this other person told me that she had a cord that she needed to pull out, so I went into meditation and imagined her pulling that cord out. She had to pull out these little threads, and then it was better." So that's kind of flat, and it doesn't have much depth or layering to it. What I would recommend if you want to try telling a story a little differently is see what happens if you tell it with maybe even putting yourself into that present moment. Like I chose in this instance to do it in present tense, which is a technique I've learned from Jean-Claude Van Italy, wonderful teacher, theater mentor. You can do this in the present tense or in the past, but allow yourself to take the time from moment to moment to moment. So you're inviting people to be there with you, to see what you're seeing, to feel a little bit of what you're feeling. This is one of my favorite ways to watch speakers and storytellers take their story from being kind of flat and a little bit blah and a little bit heady into something that's a little more embodied and therefore has more impact, so people can feel that difference. They can connect with you differently. So thank you so much for joining me, either live or on the recording. If you want to know more about speaker training. I do classes, I do workshops. I'm just have one more workshop before the end of the year. Then I'm doing an intensive. Please let me know if you're interested. But the main thing I want you to do is to really think about what story is it that you want to tell. What story feels to you like it's inspirational or it gives you a sense of connection with people. And if you have a story like that, what is it that you need to do to tell it well? I'll be coming back in the next couple of days with a couple of more tips or ideas about how to tell a story in a way that allow people to feel what you're saying, not just hear a bunch of words coming at them. Till next time, be well and let the chi flow. Bye-bye.